Uh, so, what is the ER diagram? We can say like this: an ER diagram or entity relationship diagram is a visual representation of data that shows how entities. We can get some examples, things, people's concept related to each other within a system. So it is helping to map out the structure of the data in an easy to understand. Okay. So also, as we know, the database can be modeled as a collection of entities and relationship among entities. Or ER diagram standard for entity relationship diagram, which helps to explain the logical structure of the database. We can explain the logical structure of the database. And an ER diagram looks like the flow chart, but it consists of many more specialization like symbolics and meaning of those symbolics, which make then the model very unique. And also another thing is it is in simple words we can say entity relationship diagram or ERD is a graphical representation of the database structure. So the ER diagram is also alternative known as the ER models. And ER diagrams are created based on the three basic components. The three basic components are entities, attributes, and relationships. Next topic, why do we draw an ER diagram? What are the benefits? What are the benefits of when we are using a ER diagram? Why do we draw an ER diagram? What are the benefits or advantages? Okay, we can say like this. Mainly, the ER diagram helps into planning and design the database logically and make some communication easier to between stakeholders. We can get stakeholders as developers, client, and analysts. In the industrial level, it is the communication tool. We can make communication easier between stakeholders and reduce the redundancy and improve the data integrity and also simplify the understanding of the system requirement. It is, yes, simply we can say it is a simplification. Okay. So the next thing is in the ER diagram, there are main key components. The main three components are, or three concepts are entity, attributes, and relationship. First one is entity, and second one is attribute, and third one is relationship. We can divide ER model or ER diagram into three parts, three main parts. First one is entity, second one is attribute, and third one is relationship. The entity can divide into another main two part, strong entity and weak entity. We can say simply like this: entity is a real world objective or concept. For example, we can get students or force or department, any other example. So when we come into the attribute, it is a property or characteristic of an entity. It is a property or characteristic of an entity, and the attributes can divide into main four parts. Key attribute or simple attribute. Second one is composite attribute. Third one is multi-value attribute. And final thing is derived attribute. When we come into the relationship or cardinality, we can describe like this. Describe the number of instances in a relationship. We can say describe the number of instances in a relationship. Oh, yeah, the relationships are divided into main four parts. First one is one to many, and many to one, and many to many, and one to one. That are the main dividing four parts in relationships. Okay. And next, we want to consider about the ERD symbolics and notations. These are the symbolics when we are drawing the ER model. First one is entity. So the entity represented by rectangle shape, uh, entities are objective or concept about which data is stored, or each entity has a name which is typically a noun, such as an example we can get customer or order, any other things. The main symbolic is for the entity is rectangle shape. Okay. The next thing is attributors. The attribute represented by the oval shape. Attributors are the data we collected about the entities. And attributors may be primary key. We can underline that name, and which is uniquely identify each instance of the entity. Okay. So when we come into the relationship, it is represented by the diamond shape. Relationship show how two entities share the information in the database. This representing the two entities are sharing their informations. Okay. When we come into this shape, this is a weak entity. Weak entity representing the by double rectangle shape. Weak entity is an entity that cannot exist the database without the existence of the another entity. It is based on another entity. Okay. So another thing is we want to identify the relationship. It is represented by the double diamond shape. So these representing the connection between the weak entity and it is on an entity. Another thing is derived attribute. It is represented by the dash oval shape. It is derived attribute is the one value is calculated from the another attribute. Another thing is another shape is composite attribute. It is attribute made by the multiple components. It is shown as the one oval for a single entity, like a multiple. We can get some example like this, multiple phone numbers for a one person. So another thing is connection line. These are the connection line. These are the solid lines are used to connect the entities to attributors and entities to relationship, illustrating the linkage of the between them. And these are the cardinality and relationship. There are main four relationship: one to one, one to many, many to one, and many to many. I will describe those things in after the description. Next thing is we want to consider about the type of the entities and attributors. So previously I described the some small description of the entity. So in here we get some knowledge about the deep knowledge about the entity. So someone asking what is the entity? So we can say like this. So entity is the objective that exists and distinguished from the other objectives. Entities are usually expressed by the noun. We can say in single form. For example, we can get a specific person or company or event or anything. So, an entity set is a set of entities of the same type that share the same properties. Every entity is made up from attributes which representing the entity. We are representing the entity in this type of single rectangle shape. The entities are divided into main two parts. What are the main two parts? First one is strong entity and second one is weak entity. The strong entity we are representing single rectangle shape. The weak entity we are representing double rectangle shape. Someone asking some question, what is the strong entity? What is the difference between a strong entity and weak entity? We can say like this: the strong entity, an entity is said to be the strong entity when it has a key attribute that can uniquely identify each instance of the entity. The strong entity is not depend upon any other entities, or it is extends in the database scheme. Rather, it is as own primary attribute. Strong entity represented by the single rectangle shape. We can get some example like this: student ID of the student. It is the strong entity. We can get another example as employee ID of the employee. It is not depending any other entities. It is a unique entity. We can say it is a strong entity. When we come into the weak entity, a weak entity does not have any primary key attribute and depend on another strong entity via foreign key attribute. Weak entity, we are representing the double rectangle shape. Okay. So the second main concept is the attributes. So we can say like this: attribute describe the property of the entity. Attribute representing as oval in the ER diagram, and there are four main type of attributes. The first one is key attribute. We can say simple attribute. The second one is composite attribute, and third one is multi-value attribute, and final thing is derived attributes. Okay, so when we come into the first one, the key attribute or simple attribute. The key attributes is also known as the prime attribute or primary key. A key attribute can uniquely identify entity from an entity set. In here, we are using a rectangle shape and drawing the entity shape, and we can connect attributes to this entity. This is like a key attribute or simple attribute. So in here, key attribute representing the by oval shapes, same as other attributes. However, the text of the key attributes is the underline. And this the given diagram shows the student ID as the key attribute. The entity is student. The attributes are name, SID, and email. When coming to the composite attribute, an attribute that is combination of other attributes is known as the composite attribute. It is possible to break down the composite attributes. For example, we can get student entity, and the student name is the composite attribute. The student name divided into main three parts: first name, middle name, and last name. This is the entity, this is the attribute, these are the composite attributes. And another thing is multi-value attribute. So multi-value attributes means the same suggested is the attribute has more than one single value. In here, so it is represented double oval shape in the when we are drawing the ER diagram. For example, we can get a student can have more than one phone number. So the phone number attributes is multi-value. So we are know some student can have more than one phone number. So it is a multi-value attribute. So when we come to the derived attribute are attributes false value can be calculated from related attribute value and represented by the dash oval in ER diagram. The value of the derived attributes is not stored in the database. That's the reason for that. Since the value keeps on changing and depending upon the another attribute, the age is depend on the date of birth. Okay. For example, we can get the student age is derived attributes as the changing over time and can derive from other attribute of the date of birth. That is the main four parts in the attributes. So when we come into the relationship or cardinality, the main third concept in the ER diagram. So there are main four relationship and or cardinality. We can divide into main four parts. First one is one-to-one. Second one is one-to-many. And third one is many-to-one and many-to-many. In the first one is one-to-one relationship. When only one instant of an entity is associated with the relationship, then it's known as the one-to-one relationship. For example, we can get this the college, just think this is the college database. Uh, in college database, each student has only one SID. Okay. And each student ID is assigned to one person. So we can say it is a one-to-one relationship. I will describe another type. Just think this is the college database. So each student has only one student ID. The two entities are student and student ID. This is the what is this? This is the relationship. This is the relationship. These are the entities. So we can say each student has only one SID and each student ID is assigned to one person. So we can say it is a one-to-one relationship. Okay, it is representing the single solid line. Okay, and we can put some one here and one to here. We can representing another way in the one-to-one relationship. So when we come to the one-to-many relationship, when one instant of entity of can be associated with more than one instant of the B, known as the one-to-many relationship. In this example, there are two entities, student and the department. We can relationship with the student entity and department entity with the study relationship. Okay, the student can study in many departments. That's the reason we are using one-to-many. Student can study in many departments, but each department has only one student. We can represent in like another way. We can put one here and we can put M here, many. It is M representing the M, or we can representing like the multi lines in here. Okay. Another part is uh, many to one relationship. In here, when we more than one instant of an entity is associated with a single instant of the another entity, then it is called many to one relationship. It is representing in here in many lines and in here representing the single line. For example, we can get many students can study in a single college, but each college can have only many students. Okay, these are the two entities, and this is the relationship. And the relationship in these two entities are many students can study in a single college, but each college can have many students. Okay, so final thing is many to many relationship. In the many to many relationship, instead of entity A associate with given instance of entity B. Similarly, many instance of entity B can associate with given instance of entity A. For this example, we can get these are the two entities, student and project. This is the relationship between the two entities. So in here, student can assign to many projects and project can assign to many students. We can represent it with the many lines in here, or we can put N to N. It is representing another way in the many to many connection. Okay, this is the main four parts in the relationship and cardinality. So when we are coming to the step of drawing ER diagram, so firstly, some question papers are giving draw the some given some scenario, and they are saying related to the this scenario, draw the ER diagram. So in here, firstly you want to identify the entities. when you create in a ER diagram, the first step is identify the all entities within the system. An entity representing the real world objective or concept that holds data in database. In an ER diagram, entities are typically depicted of the rectangle shape, each label within the singular form. Now that is the best representation of the objective or concept of symbolics. So another thing is this practice aid to clear and organization representing and the data to be managed within the database. So first one is you want to read the scenario and you want to identify what are the entities in this scenario. Okay. The next step is determine the relationship. So in here, you want to understand and define the how entities are connected in the fundamental aspect of modeling the system within an ER diagram, and you want to clarify the what are the relationship with those entities. The third step is you want to define the attribute of each entity. Each entity in a ER diagram has attributes, which is specific pieces of the information that the database stores. They are the represented in the oval shape connected their respective entities by a line and each attribute named in the unique name. Okay. So finally, and you want to identify primary key and the foreign keys. And finally, you want to representing the cardinality and the cardinality of these entities. Okay. And finally, you want to draw the diagram using the correct symbolics. You know, in the previously I said you can get the rectangular shape for the entities, oval shape you can get for the attributes, relationship for the you can get the diamond shape. Okay. There are so many tools you can use to draw the ER diagram. There are some online tools and there are some offline tools. For the beginner, I will suggest Draw.io. It is very familiar, very user-friendly tool for the beginners. So this is the scenario. Okay. Let's see, try out this question. Okay. The first question given like this. Okay. In this question, they are saying the scenario is the television broadcast station, you can say TBS, need a database for a program schedule. So in here, following list consists of 3 business rules for the TBS. The first rule is a channel can only be transmitted on a single frequency. And second one is the program can only be broadcast on a single channel. Another thing is a program can only be scheduled for a single time slot. Another thing is TBS database consists following attributes. So first one is channel identification number. You can get channel ID frequency. Another attribute is in here. And finally, they are saying draw the entity relationship diagram or ERD for the above description of the necessary relationship. So firstly, you want to read this scenario and you want to identify what are the entities in this scenario. So tell me what are the entities in here? How we can define the entities? Tell me what are those entities? So in the first line, they are saying channel can only be transmitted on a single frequency. So when we are drawing an ER diagram, what is the first step? You want to read the scenario and you want to identify what are the entities including in this scenario. So someone says channel. Okay. Channel is an entity. It is so. So someone says program is an entity. In the second line, they are describing a program can only be broadcast on a single channel. So we can get program as an entity. Okay. So tell me another entity. in this scenario, there are three main entities. The program can only be scheduled for a single time slot. So we can get time slot as a entity. So there are main three entities in this scenario. First one is channel, second one is program, third one is time slot. Okay. So after you want to identify what this one, determine the relationship. So how can we determine the relationship? In the second line, they are describing a program can only be broadcast on a single channel. A program is a entity and channel is another entity. Okay, so they are saying a program can only be broadcast on a single channel. So in these two entities has some relationship with the broadcast. The program can broadcast with a through a single channel. Okay, that the relationship in between the two entities. Okay. In the third one, they are saying program can only be scheduled for a single time slot. In this line, there are two entities. First one is program. Second one is what? Time slot. So you can get the relationship in two entities as what? They are saying scheduled. So you can get relationship as schedule. Okay. So imagine you are getting three entities. First one is channel, second one is program, third one is time slot. Channel and program relationship with the what? Broadcast. And program and time slot relationship with the what? Scheduled. And you want to, the next thing is you want to what? You want to clarify what are the attributes including for the entities. So tell me, in the channel, what are the attributes we can assign? They are saying in the fourth line, TBS database consists following attributes. They are including some attributes, attributed list. So tell me what are the attributes we can assign for the channel entity? Frequency. Reason for that, we can get the frequency as an attribute for the channel. In the first line, they describe a channel can only be transmitted on a single frequency. So according to that, we can get the attributes as frequency and channel ID. So tell me what are the attributes we can get for the program? And program ID and program title are assigned for the program. There are another few attributes: start time, end time, date of program, and time identifier. What is the next attribute goes for the program? The when the scenario giving some hint, this is the program entity now. In here, check program identifier, program type, and another attribute as date of program. This one is the next attribute goes for the program entity. Okay. The scenario gives some hint, some little word of the entity. Okay. So you can identify it as it goes for the program entity. In here, you can check program identifier. So PAR ID goes for the attribute as for the program entity, and program title goes for the program entity, and date of program. So you can get date as an attribute goes for the program entity. So finally, it has another entity as what? Time slot. What are the attributes for the time slots? Starting time, end time, and time ID.
Time.
In here, what are the unique attributes? Time ID, channel ID, and
Program ID.
PR ID. Those are the unique attributes or unique name for the some entity. So we can say it is a primary key of the entity. Okay. So this is the question, and let's move on for the drawing this ER diagram. So we can use draw.io. So you can follow me. You can search draw.io and you can click the result and you redirect to the some page. You can see like this kind of page. Okay. So according to that scenario, there are some three entities and two relationship and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 attributes. So tell me what is the shape for the entity? How we are representing the entity in ER diagram? Rectangle shape. Yes. So we can get the rectangle shape like this. Okay. Okay. We can multiply like this. There are three entities. Okay. Here, according to the scenario, they are saying a program can only be broadcasted single channel. Firstly, in the first line, they are saying channel can only be transmitted on a single frequency. So we can get channel as the first entity of the ER diagram. Okay, channel is the first entity. So after, according to the second line, they are saying program can only be broadcast on a single channel. So second entity is what? Program. So into here, paste it. Okay. What is the third one? What is the third entity? According to the third line, they are saying program can only be scheduled on a single time slot. The third entity is what? Time slot. So we represent three entities like this with the rectangle shape. Okay. What is the next step? What is the next step? You want to identify what are the relationships. I'm asking, yeah, relationship. So according to the second line, they say a program can only be broadcast on a single channel. So we know program and channel has some relationship. So relationship, how we can represent it? What is the symbol? What is the shape of the that we are representing the relationships? Diamond shape.
Diamond shape.
Yes. So we can click on the diamond shape and drag it to the correct place. Okay. And according to the third line, they are saying a program can only be scheduled for a single time slot. So program is an entity, time slot is another entity. So we know in between these two entities, they have some relationship. So we can create a relationship like this. Okay. So in here, they are saying a program can only be broadcast on a single channel. What is the relationship? Broadcast. So we can assign broadcast to the relationship. Okay. And another relationship is a program can only be what? Scheduled for a single time slot. The relationship is schedule. So you can assign schedule into the relationship for a diamond shape. Okay. So we identify entities, we identify what are the relationship, and we create the relationship with the entities. So in here, they are saying TBS database consists following attributes. So attributes are channel identification number, frequency, program identifier, program title, starting time, ending time, date of program, and time identifier. In here, main or unique attribute for the program. What? Channel ID. What are the attributes goes for the channel entity? What are the attributes goes for the channel entity? Yes, PRID and frequency. So what is the shape of the attributes? Oval shape. You can click on the ellipse and get, and you can this for the create for the oval shape. Okay, get into here and there's another attribute. First attribute is they are saying channel identification number representing with the channel ID. So you can paste for here. Okay. Oh, so tell me, it is a unique attribute of what? Unique. So it is a unique attribute. We can say it is a primary key for the channel entity. So we can underline this attribute like this. So when we are seeing some ER diagram, firstly we can say channel entity has a primary key. The primary key is channel ID. Okay. So another attribute is what? Frequency. So you can put on it. This is the frequency. Okay. We assign entity as channel and we assign two attribute for the entity. So you want to create a and sorry, create no assign for the two attribute for the entity. So you can get the solid single line and assign that attribute for the channel entity. So get the solid signal line, assign it for the channel entity. Okay. So what are the attributors goes for the program. We previously discussed. What are the? Yes, title, program date, and program ID.
Program.
Okay. In here, you want to mention using the oval shape. We can include 3 attributors for the program entity. What is the first one? First one is PRID, program identifier. So you can assign to here. It is a unique, so we can underline as the primary key PRID. So next thing is program title. So you can get title as the attribute. Next thing is date of program or date. So you can assign like this. Okay. We identify what are the attributors goes for the program entity. And next thing is you want to assign those attribute to the program entity. So you can get the solid line, solid signal, single line, and you can assign those to the program. The date you can assign for the program entity. And PRID you can assign for the program entity. Okay. So tell me the last thing, time slot. What are the attributors goes for the time slot? Tell me what is the primary key or what is the unique time ID or yes. Then what are the next attributors? Ending time and starting time. So we can get the attributors like this. There are 3 attributors. So first one is time ID. Comes to here, paste it, and it is a unique. So you can underline it. So you can recognize it is a primary key of the time slot. So next thing is starting time. Sign it. Sorry, not underlining. And next one is what? End time. Pause here, paste it. Okay. And you want to assign those attributors to the correct entity. So start time, assign for the time slot, and end time, assign for the time slot, and time ID, assign for the time slot. So what is the next step? You want to create the relationship. So what is the first relationship? In here, they are saying a program can only be broadcast on a single channel. So according to that, you can get a solid line to here and here firstly. Okay. And another solid line here to and here to. Okay. So in here, they are saying a program can only be broadcast on a single channel. Program can only be broadcast on a single channel. So tell me how we create the relationship. So tell me what kind of relationship in here? They are saying program can only be broadcast on a single channel. They are saying a program can only be broadcast on a single channel. They are not mentioned. It is a single program or one or more program. So we cannot get it as a single program. That's the reason it is one-to-many relationship we want to create in here. So they are saying only one single channel on a single channel. So it is representing one connection line here, and you want to create many relationship creating lines in here. So you can get some more lines in here and representing like this. Another thing is you can assign 1 to m here. Okay. A single channel broadcast many programs. Okay. Another thing is we want to create the solid line in here to end here. And so tell me what is the relationship in here? They are saying program can only be scheduled in a single time slot. What kind of relationship in here you want to assign according to this line? They are not mentioned only one program, many to one. Reason for that, they are not mentioned only one program. So they are saying program can only be scheduled for a single time slot. So time slot in here, it is a single. So we can represent it with the 1, but program can be 1 or more. So according to that, we can assign like this. Okay. It is a entity are representing rectangle shape. There are 3 kind of entities: channel, program, and time slot. We can assign attributors with the oval shape. There are 2 attributors we can assign for the channel entity. There are 3 attributes we can assign for the program entity. There are 3 attributors we can assign for the time slot. And the relationship to the channel and program is 1 to many, and program to time slot is many to 1. Okay. And finally, you can download this like this. Go to the file and you can export, and you can export it PNG format or JPG or any kind of. First, you can in here you can download with the PNG format and save it. So go to your download folder. You can get the result like this. So according to that scenario, this is the ER diagram. Okay. So can we try another example? Okay, I will give some activity. This is the question. So in here, the question is, consider the customer order database of a ABC company, which keep the data for customers and their orders. ABC database consists following attributors, and they are mentioned some attributors in here. So the following business rules apply the ABC customer and order database. So first line they are saying a customer has a unique customer number. So tell me what is the primary key in here?
Customer number.
Yeah, there is the customer. Some scenarios they are saying what is the primary key or what is the unique. So some scenarios it is doesn't mention. So you want to identify what is the unique or what is the primary key. So and the customer, it is also described by the name, phone number, and address. So in here, according to this line, they are saying what is the primary key and what are the attributors according for the customer entity. So the next line they are saying product has a unique product number and it is described by the product name and the unit price. So you can get primary key as the product number. So another line, in the next line they are saying the customer can place several orders and an order is made by only one customer. In this line, they are representing the or they are suggesting the what kind of relationship in between those two entities. Okay, and another they are saying an order can include several products and each has some quantity and order date. And another thing is a product can be on several orders. Okay, it is some kind of relationship in ER diagram. So you want to draw the interrelationship diagram and above description within the necessary relationship. So can you try out? So you can go read this scenario. I will show it and go to the your Chrome browser and search it draw.io and you can redirect to same interface and you can get this kind of shapes and draw the ER diagram. Okay, I will show the question. Read the scenario and open the draw.type new document and according to the scenario you can draw the ER diagram, export the PNG format. Read the scenario and you want to identify what are the entities, what are the attributors assigned for the entities, and you want to identify what are the relationship. If you have some question, put a message for the chat box. Okay. According to the scenario, they are saying considering the customer order database of ABC company. So which keeps the data for customers and their orders. ABC database consists the following attributors. In here, give you some attributors like this. So in here, the following business rules apply to the ABC customer and order database. So in the first rule, they are saying a customer has a unique customer number and is also described by the name, phone number, and address. So according to that, you can identify customer is a entity in this scenario. So another thing is a product has a unique product number and is described by the product name and unit price. According to the second line, you can get an idea. The product is an entity of the ER diagram. So another thing is a customer can place several orders and order is made by only one customer. An order can include several products and each has some quantity and order date. And product can be several orders. According to that, you can define it has three entities. So the entities are customer, product, and order. So you can go to this one. Create a blank page. Okay, in here you can get a rectangle shape first. Okay, can identify there are three type of entities. First, second, and third. So in here you can assign customer and in here customer, product, and order. Product. What is the next thing is order. So what is the next step? So you want to identify what are the relationship in between the entity. So in here they are saying a customer has name. So the customer can place several orders, and orders is made by the only one customer. So relationship in between customer and orders. So first one is you want to uh, change with the order to here and product to here. Okay. So another thing is order can include several products and each has some quantity and an order date. So in here, order some relationship with the products. In here, order and product. These are the entities in the ER, this in according to this scenario. So in here, they are saying the customer has unique customer number, name, phone number, and address. So according to that, you want to include attribute like this. First one. So second one, third one, and fourth. Okay. So what is the first one? What is the first one? Customer number. So you want to replace this customer number to the first attribute. So it is they are mentioning the customer number is the unit. So you can mention it is a primary key. Okay. The next is the name, phone number, and address. So you want to assign name and telephone number. And what is the next? Address. Okay. Okay. And you want to assign those attributes to the correct entity. With the single solid line. Okay. In the next step, they are saying product has a unique product number. This is described by the product name and unit price. So product number is the unit. So comes to here. First one. Second. And third. So in here they are saying product number. So you can assign, and it is they are saying unique now. So this is the primary key. So product name product name. The next thing is unit price. Oh, sorry, it is goes for the product, no? Goes to here, goes to here. And you want to assign that attribute for the correct entity. Okay. So another thing is they are saying order can include some customer can. Okay, in here in the attribute section, they are mentioning order number, order quantity, and order date. These are the three attributes we can assign for the order entity. Comes to here, here, and so comes to here. So first one is what? Order number. It is a unit. So assign it and underline it as a primary key. So quantity, order quantity is the next attribute for the order entity. The next thing is order date. Order date comes to here and assign it. Okay, and you want to assign those into correct attribute. Okay, so we identified what are the main three entities and we assign attributes for those entities. So next thing is you want to create the relationship with other entities. So in here, they are saying a customer can place several orders and order is made by only one customer. Okay, so the relationship between customer and order. So what is the representing shape for the relationship? It's diamond shape. So you can get diamond shape in here, here, and align with the single line. Okay. In here, you want to the relationship given like this. The customer place several orders and one order is made by only one customer. So in here, the relationship is place. Yes, someone asking the telephone number can be, in the previous section, I told the telephone number can be, when we are using telephone numbers, it is a multi-value attribute. No? So, but in here, according to this scenario, they are not mentioned the customer have one or more telephone numbers, phone number. No? So, according to this attribute, they are saying phone numbers. So, we can add to double oval shape to here and we can assign it as multi-value attribute. According to this scenario, they are saying only phone number and attribute is telephone number, only telephone number. So according to this scenario, the customer has only one telephone number. The scenario describing the customer has one or more phone numbers, we can redraw it to the double oval shape as the multi-value attribute. Okay, according to this scenario, only one telephone number assigned for the customer. That's the reason we are using only one oval shape to here. Okay. Okay. So according to the relationship is what? Place comes to here and we can put it as place. Okay. So in here they are saying, so tell me what is the relationship in here? One to one, one to many, or many to one. What is the relationship? Someone say many to many. Oh, customer and order. I am asking customer and order. Someone says many to many. Why? What is the reason you are saying many to many? In the third line, they mention a customer can several orders. Customer can place several orders. Someone says one to many. Someone says many to many. And someone says one to many. Okay. How we clarify it? According to the third line, a customer can place several orders. What is the meaning of this line? A customer can place several orders. A customer can get one or more orders. So according to this, one customer can place more orders, but order is made by only one customer. Did you get that? A customer, one customer, they are saying a customer can place several orders. One customer can place several orders, but order is made by only one customer. We can assign one is here or M to here. Like this. Huh? Like this. One or M to here. Okay. We can represent it like this. Or we can remove these two and we can input with the multi-line in here. These two methods are correct. Huh? Okay. 1 to M more. We can represent it like this. So in the next line, they are saying an order can include several products. An order. The order is a entity. This one is a order. Okay. Order includes several products. Order includes several products. So you want to get the diamond shape in here. In the according to the relationship, you can mention include or contains or anything. So I will put contains in here. Simple. Contains, and you want to create the relationship between those two entities. In here, they are saying an order can include several products. How we create the relationship in here? An order can include several products. According to only this line. According to only this line. No, no. I'm asking only considering this line, what is the relationship? An order can include several products. In the fourth line, they are saying an order can include several products. Yes, one to many. So they are not mentioned what is the relationship with the product to order. According to this line, we can say we cannot mention the product, which kind of relationship with the order. So according to the fourth line, they are saying an order can include several products. So we can say one to many. Okay. One to many. But in the fifth line, they are saying a product can be on several orders. What happened? It is supposed to end to end. That means many to many relationship. According to the fourth and fifth line, they are saying an order can include several products. Order can include several products and products can be several orders. It is goes for the M to N relationship and this one is goes to 1 to M relationship. Okay. These are the basic example for the when we are drawing the ER diagram. So when it comes to here, the most important things are these are the most important things. So previously someone asked why we doesn't use the multi-value attribute for the phone number. Reason for that, according to that scenario, they didn't mention the customer has more than one phone number. That's the reason we are using only phone number and we represent it with the one oval shape. This is the simple attribute. Okay, we can say key attribute. We have mentioned entity and we can assign what are the attributes include for the entity. Then when we come into the composite attribute, the entity relationship, entity representing the attribute and attribute divided into some part of. We can get some example. Get some your name. You have first name, middle name, and last name. For that, when we come to the multi-value attribute, you can get some like this kind of example. You have some one or more phone numbers. So in this attribute, you have more number of attribute in a one attribute. Okay. So when we come into the relationship or card entity, this one is the one-to-one relationship. This one is the one-to-many relationship. And this one is the many-to-one and many-to-many. Okay. And another thing is weak entity and strong entity. We are representing strong entity using the rectangle shape and weak entity we are representing with the double rectangle shape. The weak entity is unique, but sorry, so strong entity is unique, but weak entity depend on the another entity. Okay, those are the theories and examples I want to discuss today.